At this moment, Nakamura chases Kadai for Meisha's whereabouts, but Kadai stays silent, driving Nakamura insane. He finally confesses Ivan's chase of Jurors. Kadai reluctantly says Meisha and the Liang lit a lamp, refusing to confess more. Upon learning that Meisha and some Liang are now residing under the same roof, Nakamura almost lost his temper completely, convinced that the man in question must be Ivan. Nakamura immediately races to Kadai's house, but the police have just left, and Ivan has already taken off his staff the already unconscious Meisha and Liang into a suitcase and was about to jump in the car and take off when Nakamura just arrived, and as the two cars brushed past, he caught a glimpse of a man in a raincoat. This matched the imagined killer's profile. Previous cases occurred on rainy nights. Nakamura ordered colleagues to Kadai's house. He turned around and followed, only to find that when his colleagues arrived, the house was already empty, but there was a card left on the table, teasing the family. Looks like Meisha and Liang are in big trouble. Realizing this, Nakamura took a shortcut to intercept Ivan, but Ivan suddenly U-turned, sending Nakamura's car flying 10 meters. Although Nakamura miraculously survived, he was too weak to chase after them, watching helplessly as Ivan kidnapped his wife and child. The case's truth had become evident. The killer was Ivan seeking revenge for Dokayo. But Dokayo had no parents and no friends. Who would be willing to risk it all for his revenge? Who could possess the audacity to display such behavior so openly? "This is all on me. I've killed someone," said Shuma dramatically. Ivan's sudden appearance was nothing short of a provocation, and Nakamura dashed out after him, only to crash into another car while his men followed closely behind. Ivan led his men to the rooftop. When Nakamura arrived, they were tied with dog leashes foolishly at the edge. If Ivan let go, he might fall, and with a gun, Nakamura couldn't afford recklessness. All he could manage to do was to officially greet by saying, "Hey there, Ivan. It's truly wonderful to see you." This production of mine is seen as a blockbuster, yet I can't help but feel confused, with characters and the world all tangled up. The author of this character really shouldn't be me, but as soon as I yelled, Nakamura definitely understood. He's a theatrical killer who hates all jurors. None did due diligence, jumping to conclusions based on feelings. He forced his carefully concocted fairy tale onto the innocent Dokayo. Not only did they wrong a good person, but they also stole his deserving star aura. How outrageous is that? So here comes Ivan again, wanting to wipe out those jurors and turn them into his masterpieces to regain his fame. Suddenly, he aimed his gun at Nakamura as sunlight pierced through clouds, hitting him. Ivan nervously scratched his neck, fearing the sunlight. Desperate to hide, he let go. Watching his man fall, Nakamura lunged forward. Unfortunately, the man was doomed, but in that moment, Ivan coolly escaped, as if he knew human nature well. He seemed to be toying with all the police at will. However, this time, Nakamura noticed the detail. Ivan seemed to be allergic to sunlight. So he visited dermatology departments, eventually pinpointing a facility specializing in UV allergies. From a female doctor studying this, he learned severe UV allergy patients are like vampires. Sunlight scorches their skin. The female doctor had treated such patients but refused to disclose any information, citing patient confidentiality. Upon witnessing this, the female doctor promptly softened her stance. She seemed to make a big decision before giving an address. Nakamura went alone, taking nothing. It was an abandoned mansion. The owner seemed to have been rich once. Nakamura sneaked inside, only to find the entire room plastered with people. He found all deceased victims. Ivan had closely followed the case, taking pictures of everyone involved. Among them were Meisha and Liang's photos. More unnervingly, Ivan had cameras all over Nakamura's home. He was keeping 360-degree tabs on Nakamura. No wonder, he always knew when the police were on the move. It was all due to Nakamura's unintentional revelation. And just as Nakamura was still reeling in shock, Ivan unexpectedly showed up. But Nakamura, who often sits in the office, was no match for the ever-murderous Ivan and was quickly taken down. Ivan had intentionally assigned Nakamura to a bedroom that turned out to be completely sealed off. It had 2 cameras installed. Seeing his wife and child in the room, Nakamura was heartbroken, but quickly realized This was just a lifelike wax figure, but his son's eyes seemed alive, and his wife was holding a gun. Nakamura's skin crawled as he saw his son holding a box with the words "Daddy, play with me" written on. He'd heard that phrase countless times, but always brushed it off with him busy with work. It was only now that he understood its significance. Only then did he realize why his wife insisted on leaving. Who wants a never-home man? Who wants a half-hearted dad? In a moment of despair, Nakamura threw the box to the ground, screaming in agony. Meanwhile, Ivan watched through the camera, utterly thrilled. The door had a password lock, and to get out, he had to enter a code, which was likely hidden within the puzzle. So Nakamura could only patiently work on the puzzle, suddenly thinking of his wife who had done so with their son. Would she have felt as bored? Did she suffer through the struggles of raising their child alone? Gazing at the closely bound wax figures, Nakamura realized how work had overshadowed his marriage and alienated his child. If you enjoyed this show, please subscribe to us, and see you next time.